Hello everyone, Pijamaking here. Today I will show you how you can pick up items and carry them like this box over here. Whilst this video builds on two of my previous tutorials, one where we learn how to create an outline material like this one, and the other one where we learn how to highlight and unhighlight the item you're looking at. You should still be able to use this as a standalone video. If you are having issues getting this to work with your specific setup, join our Discord and either me or one of our community members should be able to help out. The first step is that we need to create a socket in our skeleton. We will use this to attach our item. We'll call it box hole, but feel free to call it whatever you want. I added our socket as a child of our left hand, but it's the same process for anywhere else on the mesh. We will need to adjust its transform so our box will look correct when we attach it. Before we do that, we will preview our animation so we can see how we need to update it. I have downloaded this animation from Mixamo and the link will be in the description. I did have to retarget it in order to get it to work with Manny. So I'll also put a link to a video in the description where I explain how retargeting works. We can also preview our box by right clicking the socket and selecting Add Preview Asset. Now that we can see our box in the animation, we can tweak the transform of our socket until the box matches up visually with what we want. I will scale it down, rotate it a little bit, and then move it slightly so the hands match up with the corners of the box. I will speed this part up, so feel free to pause the video until you're finished tweaking your socket. Unfortunately, this method does mean that you have to create a new socket for a different size asset, as that will need a different scale to fit. I couldn't find a better way of doing this, but if you do, let us know in the comments. Now we can go to our third person blueprint. In this part we will build upon our previous tutorials. The main bit that we're reusing is our line trace that detects whether we have an interactable object that we're looking at. If you're using this as a standalone tutorial, make sure you have an object reference to whatever item you want to carry. In our case, it is a BP base pickup. I have already set up an input action called grab, which is bound to the E key. Once this key is pressed, we want to check if we have an object to grab. In our case, it is called hovered object. If that is valid, we want to call attach actor to component. This will attach our object to the socket we just created, which means that whenever the socket moves through our animation, the object will move with it. As a target, we pick our hovered object, and as a parent, we choose the skeletal mesh of our third person character. The bone name is the name of the socket we just created. Now if you test it out, you will notice that our item will just be floating around when grabbing it. This is because we kept our attach rules to relative. If we change this to snap to target, it will move the object to our hand. When we try it again, we notice that our camera is messed up. This is because our camera boom is colliding with the object in our hands, causing our camera to be inside of our mesh. Also, as a side note, if you're attempting this in first person, you will accidentally create a hoverboard, which is really cool. All we need to do to fix this is disable the collision on our object while we are holding it. We can do this with the set collision enabled node. I'm putting it to no collision for the mesh of our object. When running the game now, you will notice that we are holding the object, but it doesn't look correctly as we don't have our animation playing. We can fix this by going to our animation blueprint and the animation graph. Inside the animation graph, we can use the layered blend per bone node to blend our animations together. This node allows you to specify a bone, so it will play one animation on the bone and its children, and the other animation on all the other bones. We hook it up to our output pose and add our original pose as the base pose. As our blend pose, we select our hold animation. We can select a bone in our details panel under layer setup, add a new branch filter there, and for our bone name, we can look at our skeleton. I want the Cary animation to only apply to the upper body. So if I look at our hierarchy, we should play it on our spline 01, as it will play on that bone and its children. The regular animation will play on both of the legs. If you compile, you can see the preview of our animation. Our current issue is that the animation will play regardless if we are carrying anything or not. We can control this with the blend weights. You will notice when we put it to 0, the Cary animation won't play. If it's on 1, it will play. So our next step is to change that value depending on whether the player is holding something. We can drag and promote this to a variable. In our character blueprint, we create a new boolean called isHolding, and we set this to true when holding something. After that, we go back to our animation blueprint, and inside the event graph, we need to change the reference to our character to become a third person character, so we can easily access the isHolding variable. As part of this, we will also update our begin play to cast to a third person character instead when setting it. Going back to our blueprint update animation, we add another step to our sequence where we set the blend weights. If it is holding is true, we set it to 1. If it is false, we set it to 0. Now if you test it in game, it works correctly and you can grab and hold the object and our character animates. However, we still want to implement some logic to drop it. For this, we will work with another line trace to detect whether the player wants to drop our item. We start by creating a flip-flop for our input. The first time we press E, we will grab and hold the item. The second time we will drop it. For our starting position, we get the world position of our camera, although you can also take your character mesh here, if you don't want the player to be able to place behind them by moving the camera. For our end position, we take the forward vector and multiply it by how far you want the player to be able to place things. In our case, we will keep it the same as our pickup range. Then we will add that to our start vector to get the endpoint. If our line trace was successful, it means we found a place that we can put our object. So we want to detach it from our hand with a detach from actor node. We also want to re-enable our collision with the set enabled collision node. Lastly, we want to set the location of our object to where the line trace hits the ground, using the set actor location node, and getting the position from our hit objects. We also need to make sure that teleport is turned on. Lastly, we need to set the is holding back to false, so we stop our animation for playing. If you have followed my previous tutorials, you will also need to update the look for interactables function to make sure we don't do anything when we are holding the item. Otherwise, this will result in us referencing a null pointer or a different object to the one that we are holding by the time we want to drop it. Once that is done, you can run the game and it should work correctly. I also added a different type of pickup to show it works with that as well. That was it for this video, but we're not done learning yet. I recommend you watch this video next.